Hello and welcome to Celtic Roots Radio, coming to you today from Belfast, Northern Ireland. Celtic, folk, folk rock, Appalachian, bluegrass, Scottish, Irish, Breton, Cajun. If it's Celtic or roots music you like, you'll find it here on Celtic Roots Radio. How's it going there? Is all keeping bravely? Welcome to another Celtic Roots radio show. I'm Raymond McCullough in Belfast. Another helping of great new music and a wee dose of crack too from myself. As usual, we started the show off with something a wee bit lively. That was As I Roved Out from Bill Grogan's Goat in Michigan, USA. Our show this week is sponsored by two books from Precious Oil Publications. A Wee Taste of Crack by myself is based on earlier episodes of this show, all the crack from shows 2 to 25. The Sheugh, Tales of Old Seamus by Jerry McCullough, is a collection of 12 Irish short stories set in the fictional County Donegal village of Ardnakill and featuring anecdotes, yarns and exploits of that lovable rogue, Seamus. You can buy both books now in paperback and Kindle editions from Amazon.com, Amazon Canada, UK, Germany, etc. More info at precousoil.com or on our Celtic Roots Radio website, celticrootsradio.com. Check out our Celtic Roots Cafe network, where you'll find information about our artists and bands, music videos, photos, forum posts and the blog. Just click the cafe button on our main website, celticrootsradio.com. And if you like the crack on our shows, you can read it on our Celtic Roots Crack blog, find it on the podcast page at celticrootsradio.com, or indeed, buy the new book. And yous are still commenting on the show. Cameron Kennedy sent us a message on our Facebook page. Happy New Year from Belfast. I'm not originally from Belfast, I'm Scottish, but unfortunately have an English accent. Been here in Belfast for 2 years now and love it very much. Went down to Southern Ireland a few years ago and was amazed at all the green fields. Lovely country. I've learned a lot about Ireland since I've been here and want to learn even more and meet as many people north and south of the border and from both Catholic and Protestant religions. Thanks Cameron, and welcome to Belfast. I hope you're not finding this too confusing. Maybe this show will help you understand at least some of the way we talk here. Keep in touch with us through email, Facebook message, Twitter or our cafe site, and do go to your local iTunes store and review the show for us. Drop us a wee email to let us know in case we miss it. You'll find all of our podcasts on iTunes. Just enter Raymond McCullough into the search box. And remember, in between our podcast shows, you can listen to Celtic Roots Radio all day long, complete with all the crack from myself, on our 24/7 Live 365 station. Find that on our website too. We're listening now to Rachel Davis from Nova Scotia, Canada, with a tune called The Right of Man on the West Side.
Jacobites by name, lend an ear, lend an ear. You Jacobites by name, lend an ear. You Jacobites by name, your faults I will proclaim, your doctrines I'm in blame. You will hear, you will hear, your doctrines I'm in blame. You will hear what's right and what is wrong, by the law, by the law. What's right and what is wrong, by the law. What's right and what is wrong, the weak arm and the strong. My short sword and my long, for to draw, for to draw. a short sword and a long for the draw. Ye Jacobites by name, lend an ear, lend an ear. Ye Jacobites by name, lend an ear. Ye Jacobites by name, your faults I will proclaim, your doctrines I'm in blame. You will hear, you will hear, your doctrines I'm in blame, you will hear. Heroic strife, famed afar, famed afar. What makes heroic strife, famed afar? What makes heroic strife? To whet the assassin's knife and haunt the parent's life. Bloody war, and haunt the parent's life with bloody war. Ye Jacobites by name, lend an ear, lend an ear. Ye Jacobites by name, lend an ear. Jacobites by name, your faults I will proclaim, your doctrines I'm in blame. You will hear, you will hear, your doctrines I'm in blame, you will hear. So let your schemes alone, in the state, in the state. So let your schemes alone, in the state. Let your schemes alone, adore the rising sun, and leave a man undone to his fate, to his fate, and leave a man undone to his fate. Jacobites by name, lend an ear, lend an ear. Ye Jacobites by name, lend an ear. Ye Jacobites by name, your faults I will proclaim, your doctrines I'm in blame. You will hear, you will hear, your doctrines I'm in blame, you will hear.
That was Ye Jacobites by Name from Hugh Morrison in Texas, USA. I don't know if any of you, like me, are prone to criticise other drivers when you're driving a car. I'm sure you would never do that. My wife was beginning to get tired of me remarking on drivers with only one headlight working, and suggested, a bit sarcastically I think, that I ought to count them and keep a record. Great idea, I thought, and immediately began counting cars with defective right and left hand headlights. This had the result of my complaints being reduced to a simple 33 and 35 now, every now and then, with a dry yes in response. Eventually I counted up over 4,000 defective headlights before I stopped, and I discovered that the number of right-hand and left-hand defective lights always came back into balance. Maybe I should publish this important research, I don't know. At least once a week I tend to be driving into Belfast from the Lisburn direction, in other words down the M1 motorway. A couple of years ago we had a major overhaul on this road, so it's now what North Americans would call a 6-lane. It now connects directly to the West Link, which takes you right through the middle of the city, and at the other end connects with the M2 and the M3 Lagan Bridge. As you come into Belfast from a southerly direction, the road now dives onto the Broadway roundabout, which has recently had a huge new sculpture added. This is in the form of two spheres, one inside the other, made up of interlocking triangles. Locals in Belfast apparently now refer to it as the Balls on the Falls. Actually, just after they first opened the new road, and before the specifically ordered pumps arrived, this tunnel flooded in heavy rain, and the road had to be closed again for a while. It happened so fast that a taxi driver who ran into the flood and stalled had to literally swim for his life. This is Jocelyn Pettit from British Columbia, Canada, and a tune called Fiddler's Welcome.
peace won't come with your forgiveness. For he's to be hanged come morning time. His life will end just as the sun will set tonight.
That was Avery Island from Ontario, Canada, and Lynch's Window. Another thing I was thinking about recently was some of the escapades we used to get up to as kids. Just up the road from where I grew up in the County Down countryside, there's an estate of many acres, or a domain as it's often called, with a huge house and a stone wall built right around the grounds. Incidentally, this was a famine wall, built in 1845-46, to provide work for poor starving labourers, in order to avoid actually giving them relief. The father of a couple of friends of ours was the farm manager of this estate, and they lived on the premises, so my brother and I'd often cycle up there and mess around with them. You know, play king of the castle by throwing each other off the top of the hay bales in the hay shade, take sips of the sweet molasses used for making silage, and leap around in the clump of rhododendron bushes right in front of the big house, as if we were monkeys. One thing we loved to do was ride our bikes downhill as fast as we could, and crash into a large clump of bamboo at the bottom. It would take us maybe 10 minutes trying to extricate our bikes from the bamboo, and then we'd have another go. Right next to the bamboo was a small wood known as the roundwood, which was well fenced off, with danger signs placed around it. Apparently when the estate was previously owned by an army colonel, they placed a whole lot of unexploded World War II bombs there. Needless to say, we never ventured in there. Another thing we'd get up to was building dams, either across the small stream at my cousin's farm, or when we were younger, in the sheugh at the bottom of the field next to our house. A sheugh is a field drain, and as this one led from a small bog to the river nearby, it always had water in it. We'd arrive home for tea with our clothes black and stinking with river mud. Animals sometimes got into the sheugh to drink, and then found they couldn't get out again. Hence the expression, "You're as awkward as a pig in a sheugh." At the other end of this particular sheugh, just beyond our property and right beside the bog, was what is known here as a flax hole. When the linen industry was at its height in Northern Ireland, there were thousands of flax holes all over the countryside. Farmers would cut the flax and bind it into sheaves, which were then placed in the flax hole under water and left for several days. The soft outer fibres would rot away, leaving behind the strong fibres needed for making linen, a process known as retting the flax. And that's where your expensive Irish linen comes from. We've been listening to the Clandestine Celtic band from Texas, USA, and a tune called The Hare Reels. And this is Looking Glass, a band from England, UK, and a song called If You See Something, Say Something.
Why would I hesitate when it's right in front of me? It's so far away, and now it's right in front. It never arrives, and then it's done. It's done. And if you see something, say something. If you see something, say something. And if you see something, say something. And if you see something, say something.
I'll leave you now with a sorrowful song from Danny Ellis in North Carolina, USA. This is 800 Voices.
800 voices echo across the grey playground, shouts of fights and God knows what. I still can hear that sound, with their hobnail boots and driftweed and greases of brown and green. The toughest God-forsaken bunch that I had ever seen. I was taken across the schoolyard in the cold December morn, through the games of ball and the wrestling kids, all fighting to stay warm. There I handed in my trousers and my khaki gabardine. Farewell to the last reminders of a home in smithereens. Well, they marched us down to breakfast, and they marched us up to bed, and the hobnail boots on the iron stairs was enough to wake the dead. And after Mass on Sundays, with the brass bands playing fine, we would march with the rebel battle hymns, sending shivers up your spine. How long will you be here for? Said the big lad on the wall. I've got 8 more years to go, said I. And he laughed till I thought he'd fall. Well, I'm out of here next week, said he, but before your time is soon, there'll be raisins in the Holy Communion, son. They'll be walking on the moon. I'll be back for you this Christmas. I could hear my mammy say, and a bitter truth within that lie I've yet to face today. When it gets too much for feeling, you just bury it somehow. And that 8-year-old abandoned lad still waits for her right now. The Jesuits came round now and then to sing their songs of hell, and we'd be pissing in our britches, for we knew that place right well. But a spark of sweet devotion found me that sings in my heart still, though it took me years to shake the guilt of the cross upon the hill. Marked black by the Christian brothers who stole away my breath, marked black by their straps of leather, an inch away from death. Some were only lads themselves, and 1 or 2 were saints, but too many grim abusers had no compassion or restraint. Then there was Brother Joe O'Connor, gave me music, strength and pride. He was almost like a father, though he was quick to tan your hide. And the memories now are bittersweet. I've dropped that heavy load, and 800 voices cheer me on as I'm walking down the road.
See you all soon now, Slan. Well, that's all we have time for on this show. Remember, you can find out more information about the artists and songs played on the show on our website at CelticRootsRadio.com. And if you're an independent artist and you'd like to hear your music played on this show, again, you'll find details on our website. That's CelticRootsRadio.com. Tune in again next week to Celtic Roots Radio. I'm Raymond McCullough, coming to you from Ireland. Slán agus Banagia.